Greetings, everyone. It is I, Sutargos, the Kaiju from Krypton. And man, it's been quite a week for our giant monster fans. We get a new trailer for Godzilla -1 on Tuesday. Yesterday, we got the new Netflix Gamera series being released. And today, out of the blue, we get the first trailer for Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. And yeah, it's a good time to be a giant monster fan. Not only that, but on a personal note, I've been going back to watching the Netflix Ultraman series, and I've been enjoying it pretty well. I'm on the last season right now, and I have like 3 episodes left, I think, before I finish the series. And yeah, having a good time. But Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. This will be an interesting one. Again, this will be a live reaction video to it, and yeah, it's supposed to be a prequel, from what I can gather, a prequel, but also an in-betweakle. Like, some of it, I believe, will be taking place prior to Godzilla 2014, as well as taking place after Godzilla 2014, but before King of the Monsters. And this is going to be interesting, because I've heard some things about it. For one, it may or may not make one of the graphic novel prequels canon. Because, okay, so around the time when Godzilla 2014 came out, there was this graphic novel made by Legendary Pictures, graphic novel department. You'd think it'd be DC, but hey. But hey, we're getting that crossover finally this year, so yay. Justice League versus Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be awesome. But anyway, going back on topic. That was released prior to the movie or around the time of the first movie. And I've been hearing so much back and forth with it. Some people saying like, oh, it's canon. Then some people saying like, no, it's not canon. So to me, I'm wondering, okay, is it canon or is it not canon? I don't know. It was cool though when I read Godzilla Awakening, which, by the way, I think I might have said Godzilla Aftershock, which I apologize. That was the one that came out before King of the Monsters came out last year. I mean, not last year, 2019. Bleh. But yeah, this will definitely be an interesting one to see. Because, like, for one, we're getting, our first ever live action Godzilla series. Granted, Godzilla made an appearance in Zone Fighter as a guest role, not a main role. And then there was that one series in which it involved toys, but that I don't know really counts or anything like that. But yeah, this will be Godzilla's first live action television series. And not only that, at first, everyone thought it was like, if they're going to make a series, it'll be on HBO Max, or not known as Max. I prefer to call it HBO Max. But out of the blue is Apple, of all people, who got the rights. To which I'm like, Apple? Really? But at the same time, this is good, because yes, it's an ever-streaming service. I know that can get annoying. But at the same time, Apple's got a lot of money, man. So this show, I know, is going to look great. And from what I'm told, like, Apple Plus, or whatever it's called, Apple TV, sorry, it's really cheap. Like, I was told it's like $2 a month, and I was like, really? That cheap? Especially for Apple, of all things? But yeah, I'm excited for it, as you could tell, from not only the first Godzilla video I did, but also this. Christmas present I got a few years ago of Spider-Man riding Godzilla. Big Godzilla fan. Again, as you could tell. But as for the Monsterverse itself, I've been loving the Monsterverse. It had a good start with Godzilla 2014. But it's kind of lacking, the grander, more out there stuff. Which, I mean, at first, I like the whole, trying to make it as realistic as possible and stuff like that. But then Kong Skull Island came out, and that introduced more of the stuff I like. The crazier stuff, the more over-the-top action sequences and whatnot. But then getting Godzilla King of the Monsters in 2019, and man, that film was awesome. God, I've watched that film so many times. I've watched that ending sequence so many times. As you can tell, it's my favorite movie of the Monsterverse. And yeah, I was looking forward to the future of where things are going to go after that. Because, you know, there was like so many theories, like what's Godzilla X Kong could be, Godzilla versus Kong, sorry. What's that going to be like and everything and stuff before, you know, eventually came out. And yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong, I like too. I don't like it as much as King of the Monsters, because, you know, that's top tier type stuff, right? But Godzilla vs. Kong, it's fun. It's just, I don't know, I think it might have just been the case of like people were like overhyping it and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's also, you know, the first big film to come out of theaters during, you know what. I don't want to get, you know, in trouble for YouTube or anything like that. But yeah, I like Godzilla vs. Kong, and been looking forward to where the Monsterverse goes next, because people tend to forget, you know, 2019, yes, I love Godzilla Kingdom of the Monsters, right? It was awesome. Top tier Godzilla film, right? But it had the unfortunate, you know, not unfortunate, what's the word I'm looking for? It was badly timed for its release because, you know, it's a really unfortunate release schedule. That's what I'm looking for. Because it was sandwiched between so much stuff during that summer. I mean, you had Avengers Endgame, Lion King, Aladdin, Spider-Man, Far From Home. Probably a bunch of other films too, man. Because, like, 2019 was a really crowded summer. And it was not looking good for the Monsterverse at all. Like, a lot of people thought, you know, like, had Godzilla versus Kong, you know, not been filmed at the time, you know, that movie would not come out. And the Monsterverse would have been dead right there and there. And thus we would have yet another cliffhanger, big tease type ending that never gets resolved. Which happens a lot, Hollywood. But at the same time, that's because some films aren't that good. Still wish Dark Universe took off. But regardless. But then Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and yeah, things started getting a lot better. People started loving Godzilla again. And I feel like that film most definitely helped gave Godzilla its own resurgence. Haha, nice pun there. For Shin Godzilla fans. Its own resurgence in popularity again. And since then, Godzilla's been fairly popular again. And that makes me happy, being, you know, a lifelong Godzilla fan who has all the movies and whatnot. And with that, you know, like I said, things are going good for us Godzilla fans. I mean, we got we got Singular Point, which came out around the time of Godzilla vs. Kong. But also, you know, we got now Godzilla -1 coming out this year. And then, prior to that, we're getting, you know, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. And then after that, we're getting, actually, I think around Legacy of Monsters, we're also getting that Justice League versus Godzilla vs. Kong crossover. Yeah. And then in April, we're getting Godzilla X Kong New Empire. And us giant monster fans, we're going to be eating good, man. We're going to be eating good. I mean, this year alone, we've been eating good. I mean, we had the Shin Ultraman get its theatrical release, and that movie was awesome. That Blu-ray release, not so much, but that's neither here nor there. Shin Kamen Rider, which was also awesome. And then, like all the others I said, you know, Godzilla -0, Gamera, the Netflix Season 3 season of Ultraman came out, and then, you know, -1, as I said, and now this. Plus, I think this year was also when Godzilla came into Gigabash. I can't remember. Maybe that was last year. Round to whatever. Regardless, I'm stalling right now. But, you know, I just wanted to do like a little bit of intro to this and stuff. You know, talk my thoughts about the Monsterverse, everything. So now, without further ado, let us go and watch Godzilla. I mean, well, it is Godzilla. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. And hopefully they won't have any copyrighted music, so I don't have to mute this or anything. Yeah, so let's begin.
I don't know if this will get to you. I hope so.
Alright.
I can't go back in time and fix all the mistakes I made.
Okay, so John Goodman's his voice is being used.
Something for the future.
Alright.
A legacy.
So this definitely explains the origins of Monarch.
Is on fire. I decided to do something about it.
Kurt Russell.
Hopes, dreams, ambitions. The mission was to protect their world.
Okay, we got a new Titan.
And ours. It's what we wanted Monarch to be. Instead of chasing monsters. If you come with me, you'll know everything, I promise.
Okay. Ooh. Streaming November 17th. All right. So, it looks awesome. Now, granted, it is a teaser, and, you know, I get some story beats, yes, but again, teaser. That said, it looks awesome. Not only that, we're getting some new Titans and whatnot, and more Skull Island from the looks of it. I'm hyped. I'm I'm not as hyped as when I first saw the, you know, first trailer for King of the Monsters back in 2018. But, you know, I wish I recorded that because that was like the definition of hype. But yeah, let us review this one more time before I get any more thoughts here. Okay, good. Okay, so for one, we got Kurt Russell. One thing I've known some people have made their complaints about the Monsterverse is their human characters. Like, with the exception of Ken Watanabe's, or what? Sorry if I mispronounced his last name. His character and Bryan Cranston's character in 2014. Not a lot of people have been. There haven't been really a lot of good, you know, human characters. You know, I thought Millie Bobby Brown's character in King of the Monsters was great. Or fine, rather. She didn't really do much, in my opinion, character-wise. She didn't grow much, rather, in Godzilla x Kong. Yeah. But with someone like Kurt Russell, since he's a good actor and everything, plus a lot of people like Kurt Russell, I feel like he'll be like one of the standouts here. One that stands out. Now let's look at this here again.
Protect their world.
Okay, so we have a new flying type Titan. It's not Rodan, I can tell you that much. You also see them like experimenting in something, like potentially in like. Okay, so you see them in what looks like to be in like an old type, not necessarily like submarine. I don't know what it's necessarily called, but it's like, God, I've seen this before used, or maybe you would consider like a submarine. Because I remember seeing like in old comic books, like Tales to Astonish, one of my favorite Marvel series, you know, in which, you know, it's all about giant monsters and stuff like that. Group of scientists went in this big metal ball, went underwater, and came across this giant aquatic blue monster dude who looked cool and awesome. And it looks like that type of submarine. My guess is, you know, it's probably going to, you know, study Godzilla's, you know, habitat, you know, his living conditions, like what does he do and whatnot. Or there's a possibility it could be a new Titan. We don't know. Let's see what else.
Monarch to be.
On the flying Titan I mentioned prior to. That one I feel like might be the Titan we saw, or rather the Muto Titan, but a different Muto, back in the Godzilla Awakening, a graphic novel. I forget what its name was. All I remember was it was blue, but it was like formed up together with a bunch of like mini Titans, and together they formed this big flying creature. And that one was cool.
If you come with me, you'll know everything, I promise.
Okay, now we see a crab-looking Titan, and I think, let's rewind it back a little bit.
Promise.
Okay, put that in slow-mo. Okay, so that crab Titan. Okay, so the crab Titan looks like something that might be on Skull Island. We also see a shot of, John Goodman's character from Skull Island running. But also I'm thinking it might be at the same time Cecilia? I'm probably mispronouncing. The one Titan from King of the Monsters that had like crab-like or spider-like legs, a seashell, and like pincers and tentacles in his face, kind of like a Cthulhu-like monster. That's what my guess is, or like you said, a new original Titan. But then we also see, from the looks of things here, let me just rewind a little bit. Oh, actually, there's two in that shot. There's two of those crab Titans. Okay, so it might actually be the Cecilia one, or whatever it's called. It might be someone else. Now, this next shot, we see what looks like to be like a dragon-like kaiju, a Titan. Not like King Ghidorah, but like, your traditional type dragon. But now what looks like a submarine and stuff. I think that's the Titan we saw in the beginning of this trailer. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. And just going to fast forward a little bit more. Oh, probably shouldn't be playing while I does this slow-mo music. And yeah, so we get a look at some Titans. Get to look at the big G himself, and he looks awesome. And back to normal speeds. And then we get that shot of Godzilla again. And the interesting to note about those shots of Godzilla, my guess is, like I said, this is supposed to be like a prequel, but also in betweenquel. This takes place prior to Godzilla Aftershock. Because for those who don't know, in the graphic novel Godzilla Aftershock, excuse me, one of the big things you see Godzilla happen to Godzilla's appearance is the dorsal spines. It's dorsal spines, these. They change. They go from what Legendary's original version came to like more something like traditional, kind of like that, or you can see it more so in like Godzilla King of the Monsters. So, yeah, so this must take place before Godzilla Aftershock. And speaking of which, one thing I'm hoping we get to see in this series is we get to see more of the Mutos, the very first Titan that we were introduced to in Godzilla 2014. Which also at the same time, we all thought, like, that's what all the monsters were going to be starting to be called. That was going to be their code names, Mutos and stuff. Which I thought would have been cool. I thought it would have been cool. But Titans, I should like Titans more. But yeah, my hope is we get a look at the rivalry, because, like, it's never really touched upon after Godzilla 2014, outside of, the comics, specifically the Awakening and Aftershock. We never really see the Muto being, like, referenced in King of the Monsters, except for the very end, where we see I believe it was called the Queen Muto, which, bowed to Godzilla. And then, of course, we saw the severed Muto head from the female Muto from from 2014 in King of the Monsters. And, yeah, that's about it then. But yeah, no, I want to see that explored, man. If not that, please have it in Godzilla X Kong New Empire. I'm really, really interested in seeing, like, the origin of the Kaiju, to which, I imagine Monarch is going to show a little bit, but, Godzilla X Kong will hopefully fully show this, because remember when the plot synopsis for Godzilla vs. Kong back when the synopsis came out in, like, either at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020, was like, we're going to explore the origins of the Titans, where they came from, and how's this all linked to everything. And then I guess the whole story about the reshoots from that movie must have changed the film dramatically, because we We got an idea of the origins, yes, but no. We just more or less got to see the world of Titans rather than the origins of the Titans. And I'm hoping we see that in Godzilla X Kong New Empire for sure. Which I'm hoping, well, it probably will, but like I said, Godzilla X Kong versus Kong was supposed to do that, but we never got to see it. But yeah, no, I would like to see more of the Mutos in here for Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Not only that, since we've seen some Skull Island stuff, give us some Kong stuff too, you know? Explore Kong and Skull Island stuff if you can. Though, you know, me personally, I prefer, you know, the big G as opposed to the big monkey. But Kong is still cool in my book. But yeah, overall, Monarch looks great. I'm really excited. I'm really happy for it. And I'm really looking forward to what we're going to see and everything, you know. Both everything that takes prior to the movies to what's in between the movies. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, we'll get some, like, tease for something for Godzilla X Kong New Empire. But yeah, overall, it's a good time to be a Godzilla fan. And Giant Monsters fans in general. Yeah, and I'm happy to see that the Monsterverse is getting an expansion outside of the comics for once. You know, we're getting now shows, and I'm hoping this will lead to more shows. And I doubt this will happen in a theatrical sense, but I would love to see, like, spin-off movies of certain Titans, you know, like explore Mothra, you know, explore Rodan. Or, like, you know, explore with, like, if they did, like, a Mothra film, which they've done before in the past with Mothra, like I said, back in the 60s, but also the 3 Rebirth films. You could do, like, a Mothra film that explores the origins of Mothra and how Mothra is connected to Godzilla species, because, as was shown in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they kind of had, like, a symbiotic type relationship. Not in the sense of, like, you know, they're parasitic or anything like that, but rather they depend on one another. But yeah, that's what I like to see. Plus, you know, I love my boy Rodan, even though Rodan got shanked and became, you know, a pushover at the end. I would love to see Rodan explored more, especially because of the tease they said. They, like, teased, like, some history for Rodan in King of the Monsters. Because they're like, Rodan, the fire demon. And that's making me, like, wonder, like, did Rodan, like, emerge prior to everything? You know, became the stuff of legends? Kind of like how, like, Ghidorah did for when it came to, like, the story of, like, Hydra and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it's a good time to be a Godzilla fan. It's definitely a good time to be a Godzilla fan. It's a good time to be a Giant Monster fan. And it's also a good time to be a Tokusatsu fan, too. So yeah, overall, what are your thoughts on this trailer? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What are you hoping to see? Are there any Titans you're hoping to see? One time I would love to see explored would be Behemoth, because, you know, Behemoth looks awesome. Also that one sea dragon creature, I think it's called Leviathan, I think. Or something else. Maybe it's like, no, it wasn't called Leviathan, it was called Typhoon, I think it was. It was in the Godzilla vs. Kong prequel comic, Godzilla Dominion, I believe it was called. When it came out, when Godzilla vs. Kong came out. But yeah, going back on that, what Titans would you like to see? And, yeah. Kind of bringing further there. And is there anything else you're hoping to see, too? Like, maybe some returning characters from previous films, or what Kurt Russell's character is going to be. Let me know in the comments. And, as always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you keep on getting more videos just like this. And make sure to check out my Facebook page, Sutargos, the Kaiju from Krypton, in which you'll see me post, like, random posts about stuff. Yeah, stuff. And just recently, I just made a post in regards to, I mean, not in regards, but a post wishing the legendary manga and anime creator, Go Nagai, a very happy birthday. As well as other stuff, like me talking about, like, Tokusatsu, Godzilla, Superman, all that good stuff. Until next time, everyone, bye-bye! And one other thing before I do my final goodbye. coming soon on my friend Tyler's podcast. It'll be and we will be talking, of course, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. And man, I'm excited for that. But till then, everybody, bye-bye! Bye!